President Trump cracking jokes with RFK Jr. on the startling Doge Social Security findings.
A lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Quite a moment there.
Funny
and
line.
Of course, I wish I had it on hand. I think the oldest person living today is maybe like 105,
110, something like that.
Not 160, that's for sure.
Okay, that from last night. Also, we learned this. President Trump with a rather big revelation. It involved the deadly bombing outside the airport in Kabul during the August Biden administration chaotic withdrawal out of Afghanistan, and this is how it went down. Watch.
3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Only half the room applauded for that. Morgan Ortagus, Deputy Middle East Special Envoy. Morgan, good morning to you. Kash Patel shot this out on X. He said that time he delivered the sword of justice for the American people. Justice for Abbey Gate terrorist Jafar, officially in U.S. custody. And the president went out of his way to thank the government of Pakistan for their help. What do we know?
Yeah. Well, we heard from the Secretary of Defense this morning and from the National Security Advisor. Listen, this is a great day for America, and especially for these 13 family members. Anytime that you are able to bring a terrorist, to capture a terrorist that was responsible for that attack, that day in Afghanistan, that week in August of 21, when we saw Kabul fall to the Taliban, was one of the most heinous days in foreign policy in modern American history. Why the Biden administration didn't prioritize getting this guy for the past 3 years, I don't know. But what I do know is people like Seb Gorka and Mike Waltz and the CIA and the DOD, everybody for the past 5 weeks put all of our intelligence resources on finding this guy and working with the government of Pakistan and other governments to make sure that we can get him in U.S. custody. So I think this sets a really important tone for President Trump. He's going to go out of his way and do everything he can to bring American hostages home. Believe at least 11 already American hostages brought home in just the first 5 weeks of his administration. But he's also going to go out of his way to go after the terrorists that try and do kill Americans. And so if you're a terrorist, if you're plotting against America, President Trump is coming after you.
170 Afghans also killed in that suicide bombing there.
That's right.
Extraordinary. Let's talk about Ukraine. It appears to me that the ball is in Zelensky's court at the moment. Here is how the president described a letter that he had received from the leader in Ukraine.
I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time. We've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war.
Morgan, I want you to weigh in on this. And John Ratcliffe on Fox Business earlier today, head of the CIA, that said that some of the aid to Ukraine will be frozen. I don't know how that works or how much of that happens, but what is your measure of what the next move is here?
I think that President Trump is very clear, both on the campaign trail and when he speaks, of what he expects for American foreign policy. And one of the things that he has been campaigning about and talked about since he's been president is the fact that he wants to be a president of peace. This war between Russia and Ukraine has gone on for over 3 years. Hundreds of billions of dollars spent, most of it by the United States. Europeans are also spending this as well. And importantly, hundreds of thousands of lives lost as well, at a minimum, in this war. And so President Trump said that this war never would have started. He reminded everybody that he was the first president to send that military aid to Ukraine, and not just blankets and sheets, as President Obama did. And of course, Putin didn't invade on his watch. So how do we get to where we are today? He meant what he said. He said that he was going to be a president of peace. This war has gone on for over 3 years. It's unpalatable to think that this can go on for many more years. So he wants to get to a resolution because it's in the best interest of the Ukrainian people, of our European partners and allies, and of course in the best interest of the American taxpayer. I think we're all encouraged to hear the change in tone from Zelensky yesterday, and I think that that's something that Scott Bessent and my boss Steve Witkoff will continue to work on with President Zelensky. I also think the CIA Director John Ratcliffe mentioned that it was a temporary pause as it relates to aid and as it relates to intelligence sharing. This is a very simple message from President Trump that President Zelensky and the whole Ukrainian team needs to hear. Come to the table, ready to make peace. And when you're ready to do that, then we're ready to move on.
Okay, Morgan, we'll see what happens next, right? Could be news today. Morgan Ortagus, nice to see you. Thanks for coming on. All right.
Thank you.